Hello, this is my video analysis for classroom management, and it's over Mr. Holland's Opus. I loved this movie. I have watched it twice in the last 24 hours, just because I liked it that much. So, I liked being able to watch this movie knowing nothing about it except that it was about a music teacher. And so I had no expectations, and I think that was actually for the better because I was able to watch it and pick up on things that caught my attention, that tugged at my heart and made me ponder a little bit, which I think is a good thing. Just being able to, even though it was a fictional story, being able to watch this teacher's life play out, and choices he made and mistakes he made and things he did right and things he learned. It was eye-opening, and even there were moments where I was like, oh, I could use that. Or, okay, mental note, don't do that. So I loved it. I want to go buy it now, so I probably will. Many key moments in this movie, and I would recommend this movie to anybody. One of my favorite parts was when he was teaching Lewis to keep a steady beat on the drum, and then he was trying every method, and then he was doing the one where he's just hitting him on the head. He had a helmet on, but he's hitting him with a mallet, trying to get the beat to go through. Another favorite part of mine would have to be the very ending, and seeing the appreciation that everyone had for him, and seeing the impact that he had on all those students, and that's a lot of people over 30 years, and it was encouraging, it was uplifting, and I know that was the point of that section of the movie, but it worked. And for someone who's about to go into the field of teaching and seeing that was encouraging, because at any age, a teacher can impact a student for the better or for worse, and that's partly your choice to decide as a teacher what that's going to be. I know that part of the reason I'm going to be a teacher is because of the teachers I had in elementary school, in middle school, and in high school. It is because of the impact they had on my life that the Lord used them to put the desire in my heart to go and make a difference in the world, and be the teacher, and be not only just the teacher, but a Christian. What kind of Christian am I going to be? What kind of teacher am I going to be? What kind of wife and mother and sister and daughter am I going to be? And I think that was a big moment because it made me remember, okay, what am I on this earth here to do? And what kind of legacy am I going to leave in the jobs that the Lord puts me in, the opportunities He lays me in as I'm teaching, whether it's my classroom, it's my family, or it's my friends, or it's strangers. What kind of legacy am I leaving? And even though that was a fictional moment, it was proof that you can do that. And just think of how many people you can impact over 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, 50 years, your entire life. What kind of teacher are you being? One of the other favorite moments for me was when he was teaching the music appreciation class, and he had just finished grading their tests, and they flunked. They all flopped. It was horrible, and he's just going, what in the world did I do wrong? And as he's going over the answers with the students, he realizes, I've totally missed this. I've missed the target, because he didn't know anything about them, and they didn't know anything about him on a personal level. There was no relationship. He was just trying to throw in all this information, all this knowledge, and they didn't want to take it because they didn't know him, and they were under the impression he didn't care about them either. So once he had that mental check and was able to connect with them, it changed the whole ball game. When he sat down and asked them what kind of music they like to listen to, the answer was rock and roll. And he sat down and started playing music they knew that they sing in the cars and dance to. When he started playing that music, it opened up a door for them, and it probably changed his entire teaching career. Had he not done that, he might not have stayed a teacher for very long. And once he did that, he was able to relate rock and roll to the fundamentals of music in Bach, in Beethoven, in Mozart, and he explained to them, listen, the music that you listen to is the same, it's like a relative of Bach's music. And here's why. And I can show you the intervals. I can show you the form and the transitions. I can show you the variations, and all of these modes, and just it all made sense to them once he did that, and he put it in words that they understood and in settings they understood. So leading into what I think were the most positive moments, and then the negative moments that affected his classroom, his management, and who he was as a teacher. Positive, he learned, probably through that music appreciation class, he learned to invest in his students, which is imperative as a teacher. If you don't do that, then you're losing. So by learning to invest, his program thrived. So that was good. And the students listened to him and respected him. And even leading into that, they didn't cross him. Or if someone tried, when he corrected them, they didn't do it again. Second positive, he didn't quit on them, ever. He didn't quit on them when they struggled to understand a concept, or even, like I said a second ago, when they struggled to show respect. He did not quit on them. He was tough on them, he was hard on them, he pushed them, but it's because he saw the grit that was inside each student, and he pushed them to help be their full potential. My third positive was that he was willing to go above and beyond what was necessary, or definitely above and beyond what he started off doing. And that is what made him a teacher there for 30 years. And when he was forced into retirement, that's what made it such a big deal, is because he put countless hours and time and sweat and sacrifice into what he did. So that is praiseworthy. My negatives would definitely include the beginning, when he wasn't listening to how his music appreciation class was responding to the way he was teaching. Once he did that, it was night and day difference, obviously. The second negative was there were moments throughout the entire movie, all the years, where he calls out his students by name when they make a mistake. And I think that is a dangerous game to play. And again, you have to know your students to know if that's going to work. But if you're constantly pointing them out for their flaws, you could lose that student entirely. And especially in music, lose their confidence and their desire to do it. My last negative was that there were moments where he put students above himself and above his family, and he made them priority over his family, and that's a no-no. That's an issue. You gotta find the line in the sand, and he struggled with that for a minute because it then put him in danger of having serious issues and interactions with the student. So that was an issue. Overall, great teacher. Wish he was real. Maybe he is somewhere out there. this is the last thing I'll have, and I'll leave it here, is that I love the line the principal gave, is that as a teacher you have two jobs, and that is to fill the young minds with knowledge and then to be their compass. Without both of those, it's not going to do anything.